I just want to make my own song. It's a powerful thing when you sing your own song because you can't sing it wrong. Hero training. Well, you understand, we all we got. We all we need. Each one reach one. Each one teach one. If you are that one, then you already know you are enough. And if you know that you are enough, then you know that you are the main character in your reality. And when you're the main character, there's a rhythm in your soul that you step and march to. And that's your song. So in heroism, yeah, we just want to make our own song. It's a powerful thing when we make our own song because we can't sing it wrong. Welcome to the huddle. Want to give a shout out to my executive producer, my wardrobe coordinator. As you can see, I don't have no color light in the background. She said, don't put no light in the background. You be the light. So that's what I'm wearing tonight. Want to give a shout out to the greatest co-host in the whole world. Alexa, tell me something good.
We all we got. We all we need.
Alexa, who is the master?
The Honorable Trav P.
Alexa, what is the most powerful music in the world?
Hood Soul by Trav P.
Alexa, one time.
Good God Almighty, Trav P. I blank you.
Y'all give it up for the realest to ever do it. We're going to get into this here hero hymn. Hero hymn is the mighty hymn within me, the mighty hero spirit. We know that spirit means wind, air, breathe. There's two parts to breathe, and inhale, exhale. When I inhale, I take in the mighty wind, the mighty air, the mighty spirit, and it goes into my respiratory system. And as I exhale the mighty wind, the mighty air, the mighty spirit, it travels past my vocal cords, causes a vibration that we know is sound. When you feel that sound, just as much as you hear that sound, you know that tingle in your spine. That is when we connect in the hero spirit to truly understand we all we got. We all we need. Tonight's hero hymn says, I just want to sing my own song. It's a powerful thing when you make your own song. Cause you can't sing it wrong. Oh, I want to make a song. We all use terms when we hear songs that we can particularly feel a personal connection with. We say, oh, that's my song. Is it really? Is it really? Make your own song. Express yourself to the rhythm within your soul to tell your story. And remember, you can't sing it wrong because it's yours. Tonight's word is a deep word. Vulnerable. What are you vulnerable to? When are you your most vulnerable? What has strengthened or weakened your vulnerability, your ability to be vulnerable? Oh, this is a deep word. Dealing with the relationships of each other and one another. Alexa, what is the meaning of vulnerable?
Vulnerable is defined as capable of being wounded or hurt, as by a weapon. For more definitions, ask me to give you more definitions for vulnerable.
Alexa, give me more definitions of vulnerable.
I have 3 more definitions for the adjective vulnerable. 1. Open to moral attack, criticism, temptation, etc. 2. Of a place, open to assault, difficult to defend. 3. Having won one of the games of a rubber.
When are you most vulnerable? Are you vulnerable? Who are you vulnerable to? What are you vulnerable to? The question is way more powerful than the answer. Because the answer can change with your levels of maturity or growth. One of the greatest examples I like to use about being vulnerable is when we got to be honest when we're the most. When you care. When you care for someone. When you care for someone who matters in your life. See, I always say this. The soul can keep no secret that behavior won't reveal. So when you care about a certain person, your behavior will show that. And in that behavior, that's where you're vulnerable. So I'm vulnerable to need in my woman. Understand me why I say this deep. Because in a relationship between a man and a woman, nobody sees each other at their weakness more than they do each other. So we know who we're most vulnerable to. Those that truly know what we care for and how we feel. But when you don't know how to be vulnerable, or think that vulnerable is all about being weak and you don't feel trustworthy or sincere to be weak around nobody, even the one that you lay beside every night. I watch this amongst us in today's time. Nobody is vulnerable on the outside. I see 2 vulnerable people who love each other, who's truly hurting, who's being attacked by a weapon. When their weakness is not understanding that they need each other. And because they're fighting the fact that they need each other, they both are suffering. And not only are they suffering, there's children that has been created in this connection that is suffering to the non-ability to be vulnerable to one another. To simply say, I'm hurting and you control my hurt. You are my weakness. I love you. I care for you. I need you. But instead, we'll play tough and not be vulnerable. I'll take your best lick, and I'll give you my best lick. And both of us act like these licks don't hurt. But then we go in the bathroom and we lick our wounds in sorrow and pain and hurt, knowing that we'll never let anyone see us vulnerable. This is how we have become cold and hard. Not only in relationships between man and woman, we're talking about children and parents. Alexa, what is the meaning of vulnerable?
Vulnerable refers to a state of being susceptible to harm or injury, especially through emotional or physical weakness. It implies a lack of protection or defense against potential threats or damage. The word is often used to describe someone who is physically susceptible to wounds or injuries from a weapon, but it can also be applied to emotional vulnerability, which refers to the ability to be emotionally hurt or affected by someone else's actions.
We all we got. We all we need. If you truly think you don't need somebody, do you realize how vulnerable you are? You protect what you care for. There's children that are vulnerable to pedophiles, to rapists, to influence that will inspire them to be any goddamn thing. They're so vulnerable to every goddamn thing because they don't have parents that protect them. There's women out here in this world that are so vulnerable to scammers, to game, to pimping, to every goddamn thing because they don't have a man protecting them. Security is protection. If you don't have security, you are vulnerable to any goddamn thing. Listen how we are so vulnerable. But we act like we ain't. We say things to one another that hurts each other's feelings. But because social media puts a propaganda in your mind to make you think you have to be above feelings, you think like you're a fucking robot in the computer or the phone and you're above the bullshit. So you act like nothing can hurt your feelings and you are never vulnerable. And that's how we get cold motherfuckers in this world. The soul is hot. The soul represents fire. When you don't operate through your soul, you become cold. That's what defines soul music. That's what defines soul food. That's what defines our culture. It's the fire that burns inside. That's about caring, loving, empathy for one another. I care about your feelings. I'm vulnerable enough, and I can be vulnerable in any situations around those that matter and who matter to say, I need you. Please care for me as I will care for you. But when we can't say that, we can't be vulnerable, man. And being vulnerable is just being honest within yourself. Often I get out of balance, and my people that care for me say, Trav, you got to get out of worrying about what people think. Man, people going to say some crazy things about you. I say, but why? I don't want to care about what people say about me, but I do. I work hard. And being vulnerable to those that cross my path and being sincere and being genuine, that every experience in my reality, I stand in the mirror and know I stood true. What the hell they say? You see how, what the hell they say? Oh, I don't want to care. And because people know I care about what they say, they say wild shit to hurt me. See how that works? They know that's where I'm vulnerable. That's how you can get them, y'all. Lie on his name. Paint him wrong. Paint her wrong. Ain't nobody gonna believe it because everybody that know him or know her already know what time it is. But paint them wrong anyway, just so it can get to them and fuck with them or fuck with her because they care about what people say. And it work. I'm human. To what level it work? Maybe I like to feel the burn. But I feel it. See how that work? I feel it. You feel it. As a man, the true feeling of vulnerability that I struggle with as a man is in my finances. It ain't about lack of or more of. It's about understanding my position and knowing all the responsibilities that come with my position. And when I financially look at my position and the possibilities of what I protect, I get to feeling vulnerable, man. Especially coming out of a battle. They say in real life, through discipline, we save money. This ain't no illusion. You get a monthly income, a gross income. Everybody make a certain amount a month. Everybody pay bills monthly. At the end of the day, when the smoke settle and the dust clear, after you handle all your responsibilities, taken away from what you bring in, you have a remainder. Most of us have the idea that we want to save in that remainder, but we're all influenced by the American culture of being an American, so we want things that we reason whether or not to save based off what's there when the smoke settles and the dust clear. And through discipline, we try to prepare ourselves for things that may go wrong. And I'm fortunate to say in most cases, I'll be ready, but coming out of that battle, I'll be vulnerable, and I'll be weak, and I get to get down on myself because I know I'm open to harm. And I had to dig deep. I had to dig deep because sometimes as the leader, so yeah, that's my real test of being vulnerable in the vulnerability of a man. But when I get there, my wife can see it in my eyes because she cares. And she assures me that we're going to be all right. Just keep doing the right thing, baby. I believe in you. Through conversation in real life, man. Vulnerability, sincerity, being genuine. Oftentimes I hear people say, man, I ain't never told nobody this before. Man, I ain't never said this to nobody. And they be saying it to me. And what they saying is, I ain't never felt free to be vulnerable, to truly know where I hurt and why I hurt. And they look at me and they almost ask, man, how did I get here? This real, brother. I can feel it. And in some of these cases, man, these people, whether it be men or women, have husband and wives. And they take a moment to realize that they in a place that they hadn't even let their spouse in. I said we all children that has gotten old. It's that inner child that has been barricaded and protected with everything their soul possess, because this is the true vulnerable them. And they peek through life till one day someone says, I feel you. And in that place of vulnerability, man, this is what real life hero training is. I'm talking real life now. I ain't talking make-believe. In that moment, my soul says, it's okay. They soul realize it's okay. Ain't nobody above the bullshit. But the bullshit will make you better if you real enough to deal with it. So it's a power invested in me and you. That when we're real enough with each other to be vulnerable and show each other how we really feel and where our weakness is, we become the solution. We become the strength to each other. Where I'm strong, she's weak. Where she's weak, I'm strong. She's my yin, I'm her yang. Together we don't worry about a goddamn thing. See how it works. He a good quarterback, but he stays vulnerable on the field, mean he's open to harm. He don't have nobody protecting him. I'll sack him all game. He's a great quarterback because he has time to operate and do whatever he needs to do. He's never vulnerable on the field because he have good protection. Protection makes you feel safe. If I don't feel safe around you, I can't be vulnerable. I can't open up to show my wounds and my weaknesses in hopes that you will be the strength. We all we got, we all we need. I ain't really talking deep. I'm talking real life. I ain't talking make-believe. It's can you deal or can you not? Alexa, what is the definition of bullshit?
I have two definitions for the noun. Firstly, is, in the widest sense, talk, discourse or writing of an obscure or indirect kind, intended to deceive or confuse the listener or reader. Secondly, is something indistinguishable from the ordinary usage of the word, and refers to speech or writing that is of little or no importance or interest.
See how Alexa do? She wanted to beep it out. She ain't want to say it. She said, I ain't going there with you, Trav. See, she on that bullshit. But you heard the meaning of it. When people just talking and spewing things with no intentions of really being real to be understood, they just talking bullshit. They own that bullshit. See, that's a real thing. One more time. Alexa, what's the definition of bullshit?
I can provide a definition for according to Cambridge Dictionary, is a type of lie that doesn't care about the truth and is often used in informal conversations to describe someone talking without thinking or without caring what they're saying.
A formal lie does not care about truth. So if I can't be vulnerable to truly talk from my soul to show you where I need you in trust that this is a protected moment of sincerity and realness. If I can't do that, then I'm just going to start talking bullshit. And that's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. As a reflection of all our relationships, some bullshit. Because we can't be vulnerable to one another. Alexa, what is the opposite of vulnerable?
The opposite of vulnerable is strong, secure, or unsusceptible. Vulnerable means open to attack, so its opposite is anything that is not open to attack, meaning strong or secure. For example, a person may be vulnerable to a physical attack, in which case being strong or secure would be the opposite.
See what I'm talking about, man? You see what I'm talking about. Strong and secure is the opposite of vulnerable. How vulnerable is your relationship? Is it weak or open to attack, or is it strong and is it secure? Hey, bro, how vulnerable is your woman out there in that world? Is she vulnerable to any goddamn thing, or is she strong, or isn't she secure that she gonna make it back home intact? See, there's some women out there that's vulnerable, man. This real hero training here. So they call Mother Earth. So that's what you call personification. That means she got characteristics of the earth, of the ground. The man puts the seed in the ground, waters the seed with the sunlight. The seed comes out of the ground and produces what we call a harvest. A man puts his seed in a woman's water. That seed swims upstream, becomes you and me. And when the water break, the seed come up out the water. Oh, see how deep that is. So I'm saying this to say, if she earth, we know she need water. So if your woman out here in this world and her soil is dry, mean you ain't put no water on your woman. See, a woman goes by her feelings. You ain't made her feel beautiful. You ain't made her feel secure. You ain't made her feel strong. You ain't gave her words and actions to trust. She vulnerable now. The slightest little drop of water. Your hair look nice today. That shit feels so good in her soul. She liable to get cut down by any goddamn thing. So yeah, brother. This real life shit. I ain't talking make believe. Sister. He been doing the right thing with all the right intentions. But doing the right thing for so long has become so expected that it comes with no award or appreciation. He's vulnerable. A man operates through his actions. He doing everything he can right. He ain't doing nothing wrong. But he can't see the expressions of feeling you feeling appreciated. Out there in that world, a thank you from another woman. What? And then both of them come home and can't be vulnerable to each other to truly say, I need some water. And I got some water to give, but I need a flower that's reaching for it. They can't be vulnerable enough to say that to each other. So they ain't strong and secure. See how that work? Ain't nobody above the bullshit. Because if you can't be vulnerable to each other, to create the security and strength within each other. See, that's how it comes. Boy walk in the gym, he weak. What he do? He work out to become strong and secure in himself. But he must first got to test himself and know and admit and be real enough to say, I'm weak. But if you can't do that, you ain't gonna never be strong and secure. Or you ain't gonna never say strong and secure. And you're vulnerable out there into that world where people don't care for you. And they attack. Man. But yeah, man. I want to give a shout out to LeBron James. Yeah, I don't know him, might not never know him. But the idea of what he doing, I love it, man. And some people gonna criticize him. Man, his son, ain't the only reason his son got there is because it's his daddy. So, that's what make it powerful. If you was in position, wouldn't you pave a way for your son, regardless of what? Simply because him being your son is worthy in the ticket to skip line, and anywhere you got authority to say, that's my son, bring him on. That's been the true American culture. And here we is get a brother that display it through hard work. He make them folk do what he say. And we criticize and make derogatory comments. We backwards as hell, man. Man, we back, man. You hey, look, you see why we vulnerable, man. We so insecure and weak. About the idea, man, of working this thing. Speaking of Black history, man, I want to make this point based off what's going on with LeBron James. Alexa, who invented Black History Month?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. Black History Month was first officially celebrated in the United States in 1976. It was created by historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, ASL.
When Carter G. Woodson came up with this here holiday, it sent the shockwave through the world. And white folks said, oh, hell. First, they rejected every idea of it. They said, no. They fought against the idea of black history, us truly learning the history of what happened to us, why it happened to us, at what particular point of this journey it happened. I mean, they protested. It was 76. Not too long ago. Not too long ago. But then something particular happened once we got it. They realized that, oh, they ain't trying to learn how it works. They ain't trying to learn what the hell we did, why we did it, and how we did it. They just trying to learn something or a narrative that will make them feel good about themselves. They ain't trying to figure out how this shit really works. They just want to feel good about themselves. And when they realize we ain't give a damn about how it works, we just wanted to feel like somebody because they've been making us feel like nothing for so long. They realize, oh, they ain't going to trade their vulnerability through understanding to become strong and secure. They just want to feel like they equal to us. So we still been vulnerable. Because we ain't gave a damn about understanding how it work to work it. We just want to feel good while they still work it on us. But that's what hero training is about. I ain't here to make you feel good. I want to show you how it work so you can put your feelings in perspective and understand who matters and what matters to make it work for that. So if you ain't never known how to be vulnerable to what matters and who matters, tell someone that matters that you care. Tell someone that matters that you need them. Tell someone that matters how much it hurts being in opposition to them. Tell someone that matters how much sorrow you have for the mistakes that you made. Show them the wound that you keep packing and hiding. It don't make you weak. It makes you real in the moment, and the dealing begins from that moment for you to become strong and secure. But if you can't be real in the moment and be true to yourself, then like we said earlier, you just on that bullshit, talking bullshit. Can't get no realer than that. Can't get no realer than that. Can't get no realer than that. I'm going to get out of here, but I'm going to say this right here. This is another point. I shared a post this week. Say the truth ain't popular. I went to the doctor for my physical. And my results my vitamin D was real low. A severe case of vitamin D deficiency. And this is the season where I'm in my yard most, where I try to soak up the sun as much as I can. Got a prescription for vitamin D. So I got to chewing on vitamin D. Vitamin D comes from the sun. Mr. Perry, you need to get in the sun more. Big brother Farouk say, shit, boy, you ain't got nothing but woods around you. You need to go out there in your drawers, just lay down in the sun. Let the sun burn you, boy. Alexa, what is the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency?
According to WebMD, symptoms of vitamin D deficiency include bone pain and muscle weakness, but may be subtle and difficult to notice.
Bone pain and muscle weakness, fatigue, depression. When you lack the rays of the sun, your soul becomes dark, cloudy. 90% of everybody who's listening right now, if you go to the doctor and get your physical, most likely you will be vitamin D deficiency. What's the correlation? Personification. Personification, when you give something that is of nature, human characteristics, and human attributes. This is the truth. The Bible, the one Son of God, is a personified story of the Son, the only begotten. And we are in a morally dark place where we're weak and our bones hurt. We're depressed, we're sad, we're mad because we are suffering from vitamin D deficiency, the nutrients and healing that the rays of the sun put inside the body. We all are lacking the sun. Whereas in the facade world, we would say we all need Jesus. See how this works. But when you don't understand how it works, it gets worked on you. So they tell us to be a child of God, meaning a childlike mind, to think of a minor as a minority. And we're fed our vulnerability through stories that we don't comprehend and understand the true meaning. The God spell. But like I told you in previous episodes before, my grandmother and grandfather, and his grandmother and his grandfather, and his mother and his daddy, they couldn't read the English man's words on a level to even understand, but they were here in this here land with a particular purpose of agriculture, and that's why the South became what it is. My ancestors, because they were sharecroppers, they were farmers, they were those that worked the land, and they was in the sun all day. And they didn't lack from vitamin D deficiency. And they had strong bones to do anything and create anything with limited resources. Now we hate the sun. And we don't want to be in there too long for a goddamn thing. And we're vulnerable because we're weak. And we're dark. And we're depressed. Go to the doctor and see if you suffering from vitamin D deficiency. And I don't care what nobody say. If you're watching me right now or on the replay, I just told you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And if you pick it up, you work it and you use it. Sing your own song. Sing your own song. I don't want you to sing mine. But I'm going to show you how to make a beat. See how that works? We all vulnerable to bullshit. We vulnerable, man. We so vulnerable as people to people to come tell us any goddamn thing with no intentions of ever telling us the truth. All their intentions is to manipulate our feelings of the spells they put us under with their words. And we call that, and I call that, and you call that bullshit. Alexa, what is the definition of bullshit?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the definition of bullshit is a tall tale or something that is outrageously unbelievable.
See, now she want to cuss. See how she be playing games? Now she want to cuss and say it. Tall tale, something that's outrageous and unbelievable. Hero training is to build you up to be strong and secure so you don't be so vulnerable to anybody telling you some bullshit. I love you, man. Want to give a shout out to my big brother Crump. One thing I learned with that big brother of mine, through sincerity, genuineness and trueness, he make me comfortable about being vulnerable, about where I'm at as a man, as a father, as a husband. And he truly helped me understand we all we got, we all we need. Want to give a shout out to my big brother Wood. Fight your fight, man. Every time I talk to my big brother, he an inspiration. Give a shout out to my little brother Munt. I call him my little brother because he is my little brother. And being his big brother gave me one of my first purposes of being as a child. So I don't call him little in size or anything to demean. He gave me a reason to be big. And being my little brother is an honorable. And I'm honored to be his big brother. So I love him, man. Want to give a shout out to Blow. Fight your fight, Blow. Hell of a green room. Want to give a shout out to my big brother Farouk. This some real shit right here, man. We got the same birthday, July 2nd. I met him on the job. From the time I met him, it was like a reflection of myself. At one particular time, we went 9 years without seeing each other, but we talked so randomly, it was like we knew each other, like we saw each other yesterday. And there's a saying, say, if you really care about somebody and you let them go, if they really care, they'll come back. And one thing my wife know about me and my big brother Farouk, say, y'all ain't talked in a while. I say, yeah, he'll be coming around the mountain when he come. Here he come. Or here I come. And he teach me a lot, man. And I love you for that, big brother. I love you for that, big brother. Expectations is the seed of disappointment. When you're a grown man out here standing in your real posture, you don't expect nothing from another man but conversation, inspiration, motivation, and direction. And if it's sincere and it's real, it'll always be what it need to be. He taught me that. I want to give a shout out to my brother Bam. You already know. I want to give a shout out to my brother Black. You already know. We're going to go out of here like this. I have grown into a better me. I'm growing, baby. I'm better than who I used to be. I have grown into a better me. I'm growing, baby. I'm better than who I used to be. I've been on this journey for 45 years. I'm growing, baby. I sang this song with so much love in my soul. Shout out to my brother E. Strong soldier in more ways than one. And I'm talking about literally and figuratively. A soldier amongst a soldier. He sent me a video of this song. And said what it meant to him. And when I say each one reach one, each one teach one, if you are that one, then you are enough. He that one for that song, man. Pierced my heart, man. And showed me why I gave it to the world. So I have grown into a better me. I'm growing, baby. I'm better than who I used to be. Y'all hold me down.